What's up? We're live. I'm happy to be back. Let me tell you how absolutely exciting today's topic is. A little more web design-ish again. I guess it would be 3 in a row. Maybe it's a theme. We're going to talk footers, the all-important, existential website footer. Of course, I'm kidding, but I've reviewed a lot of websites in the past week, maybe 47 or so. There's always websites coming across my desk, outgoing projects, incoming projects, reviewing things for previous clients, talking to prospects, clicking on links that people share in Slack in like web design inspiration. And we look at a lot of websites every single day, let alone week. And I'm always amazed at how criminally we mail it in when it comes to the footer of the website. I think it is a huge lost opportunity. It is a sneaky important aspect of a website. Most business owners, they don't use it as a conversion weapon. They don't use it as a means to close out either someone who successfully found or learned what was necessary, what they came for on that website or web page, and those who did not. And then what do you give them when they get there? That's kind of what I'm going to give you here today. So, like I said, business owners spend thousands of dollars on their websites. It's a very expensive proposition. Oftentimes, they don't have access to edit it or manage it in any way. That is also criminal. But we obsess over the homepage, the hero, the headlines, the header images. I get it. That's where the primary conversion and or interest comes from. But what about the people who scroll? Are they an opportunity to convert? Maybe, maybe not. Yes, they're an opportunity to convert. But so that's why it's crazy when we talk about how bad it is that we mail in footers. And I can't believe I've dramatically stated how important footers are. Didn't see that coming. But scrollers are engaged visitors. I don't think too many people would argue that. They scrolled the entire page and they either ready to buy or desperately need help finding their way to whatever it is they came for on the website. And most websites are just giving them a copyright notice, maybe their address, maybe a phone number, maybe a duplication of the links that are already in the header nav that they've already seen and didn't click on. So I'm going to share a couple of examples, go a little bit behind the scenes here and show you a couple of examples of good footers. I'm not going to show bad footers. We all know what a bad footer looks like. You probably have a bad footer. You can go look at your website. But there's a couple of aspects of them, and it can be subtle. It can be a couple of links that are not in the header of the website. It could be that you get search traffic to the website for keyword phrases. It's usually long tail keywords. And they got to the bottom of the page that they found and it didn't answer the question. But there are other pages on the site that users find in Google that are also popular from a traffic standpoint that don't necessarily fit from a branding or a strategy standpoint in the top nav. But they are traffic. They are traffic getters, right? They are traffic. That was hilarious. They get traffic. So clearly it's popular content. It's something that multiple someones are actively seeking out. So it's important to the business. Put those in there. That can be good. It's more of a strategic footer style. I'm going to share those examples now because I think I'm going to enter a space where I'm talking abstract about footers. And that is a phrase I never thought I would say. Just being honest with you. Okay, let me do that. Share my browser window. You seeing this? All right, this is my tabs. a little behind the scenes, and we've got My personal website. I'm going to start here. And I have another one I'm going to share with you, just a recipe website. It's an old family recipe. This account isn't active anymore. I've moved the website, but you can see we've got our chili process, ingredients, about chili, and contact. And then when you scroll through the whole website, you come to the footer. And those links are here in the footer, but there's other ones too, like the ingredient list, help, and a shopping list. So for anybody that wants to take action or they didn't find what they're looking for, it's a subtle difference. But it's important that if they scrolled all the way to the bottom and they're ready to act or they want to sign up for the email address, boom, they're in there. If they want help, if they want the shopping list, like just give me the shopping list. I don't want to go through all your copy. That is accessible to them. That will work just fine. On the other example, on my personal website, and sorry, I've got to scroll through this whole obnoxiously long portfolio website here. All right, we get to the bottom. Oh, wait, I wanted to show you the top. Quick. I have a link to my course, a blog link, and a link to this YouTube live show. Like and subscribe while we're here. Love that. I'd love to see that. Scroll all the way to the bottom here, and you can see, it's a longer page than I remember. There's a few things going on. Social links are common, but the links down here in the nav are different other than blog. There's a deeper work archive, which you can get to from here, but there is also a link to my company, my business. There's also a buy me a coffee link. Believe it or not, people click on that. I didn't see that coming, but it's super generous, folks. You help them in a forum and they go there and do this, and just amazing, just amazing. There's also a call to action to sign up to get emails, and then I get into the boring stuff, right? Copyright, link back to the company, and then obviously I'm using trademarks that I don't own. I'm talking about trademarks I don't own, so I'd like to have this disclaimer in there. Whoops, I hit edit. So scroll back down. These are solid footers. Yes, the footers are tall, but I think a tall footer is a good footer. A short footer is usually a bad footer. And I say that because we want to make good use of that real estate. We want to be able to communicate with someone who found what they were looking for, or someone who did not find what they were looking for, and get them an alternative, get them help, or get them to convert. I mean, probably 90% of all small businesses fail on the footer front entirely. And it's kind of bananas. I don't always understand it. So I will design large footers, and a lot of brands, companies, leaders will be like shocked. We'll have a conversation about the footer, which most people did not see coming, where they're like, it's too big. And I'm like, is it too big? Or is it just housing information that's appropriate? And let's talk about what content is appropriate on there. I think culturally, we assume that the footer does nothing except for house any legalese, link to the privacy policy, terms and conditions, copyrights, but it can do so much more for the business. So join me in fixing our cultural footer challenges. A little meta on this one. Another phrase I did not see coming today, which is cool. I'll take it. I always have reflections in my glasses when I have a browser window up. It's so bright. All right, so if you find this interesting, I've got a new program called the Wow and Flutter that's launching. So if you're ready to stop leaving money on the table and want a complete system to use to build a conversion-focused website and just take what you did in Squarespace with a template and just take it to the next level and make it amazing, then That's a program. There's a link. There's a link in the description down below for you. I'd love to see you. Love to have you in there. And with that, have a great rest of your week. I really appreciate you. You made it 10 minutes about website footers. You're a special breed and my people, and I appreciate you. I just got a thumbs up. Dude, that's amazing. I just want to say thank you. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me footers don't matter. Let's get into a verbal interaction here about it. I'm down with that too. Or maybe you agree. Maybe you think that footers are criminally underused, and we can go forth together and shift the entire footer culture of the web design world. Have a great rest of your week. I will talk to you Friday.